Bawat araw, tayo'y humaharap sa mga nangyayari sa lipunan. Mga pangyayari na nakakaapekto sa ating lahat. Mga pangyayari na kailangan tayong makialam. Kaya nabuo ang programang ito, Issue 101. Tumatalakay sa mga issue ng ating lipunan. Mga issue na dapat nating pakialaman. Mga issue na may malaking kaugnayan sa ating kapaligiran. At mga issue na may kaugnayan sa ating gobyerno. Issue 101. Narito ang inyong tagapagsalita. Issue 101. You're with Senior Simo. Senior Simo. Senior Simo. Issue 101.
Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao, buong bansa, buong Pilipinas, buong mundo ng mga Pilipino. Welcome sa isa namang episode ng ating palatutunan ng araw ngayon na Miyerkules sa city ng Mayo, taong 2025, May 7, 2025. Only 5 more days to go before Election Day. Handa na ba kayo? May nakalista na ba dyan? May nangamang na ba? At saka advance happy fiesta sa lungsod ng Mandawi sa Cebu. Happy fiesta para bukas. Traffic na naman to. Pag-usapan po natin sa episode ngayon mga kaisyo, sa isang pagdinig sa Senado sa Committee on Basic Education, lumabas na umaabot ng 19 milyon na nagtapos ng high school sa taong 2024 sa bansa ang hindi marunong magbasa. Ganito ang natuklasan sa naturang pagdinig. Sang-ayon ba kayo na ganito karami ang mga nagtapos ng high school ang hindi pa marunong magbasa? Pero bago po natin umpisahan ang ating talakayan, huwag po kalimutan na mag-like sa video na ito. I-click niyo po ang subscribe button na ng notification bell sana all para kayo po ay mapapalahanan kung sakasakaling tayo may live stream katulad nito. At huwag po din ninyong kalimutan na i-follow niyo po at i-like ang ating Facebook fan page. At isama niyo na rin ang ating X, TikTok at Instagram na nakapangalang Sinyo Simon 101 para po kayo ay updated kung mayroon po tayo mga bagong video i-upload o ano man ang mga issue na ating pong ibahagi at tatalakayin. At of course, pwede po kayo makisali sa ating group page na na pinangalanan po nating mga ka-issue sa issue 101. I-search nyo lang po sa Facebook ang ating group page. Ang pamagat po or pangalan ng ating Facebook group page ay mga ka-issue sa issue 101. Join po kayo doon at atin pong tingnan kung ano ang inyong mga saloobin at ano ang gusto nyong bigyan natin ng pansin at itatalakay dito sa ating programa. Without any further ado, let's start with the ball rolling. Ay, muli pala. Alright mga ka-issue, welcome back dito sa ating issue 101. Mga ka-issue, tumambad po kasi nung isang araw sa May 1, kakapasok lang mga ka-issue. A total of 18.96 million Filipino students who completed junior and senior high school in 2024 are unable to read and comprehend a simple story. Ay naku. Ayon dito sa iniulat mga kaisyo, nearly 19 million high school graduates in 2003 can't read. Ayon yan sa Philippine Statistics Authority. So dito tayo sa ulat ng CDN. A total of 18.96 million Filipino students who completed junior and senior high school in 2024 unable to read and comprehend a simple story. Parang may kilala akong nasa pamahalaan mga kaisyo na araw-araw siyang humaharap sa mga media, sa mga kasapi ng media mga kaisyo na nung tinalakay niya tungkol sa 20 pesos na kilo daw na nakatuparan ni Bongbong Marcos. At ang dating Pangulong Duterte daw ay nangako din ng hanggang 7 pesos daw na pagbaba, no? Na presyo ng kilo ng bigas. May kilala akong ganyan mga kaesyo na nagwa-vlog din at nagsalita tungkol dyan at parang hindi niya alam ang reduced by up to. Of course, no, mayroong mali doon sa grammar. Dapat reduce as much as 7 pesos per or as much as 7 pesos. So the information was presented at the Senate Education Panel's hearing on Wednesday. Nakaraang Miyerkules mga kaesyo, that was April, ano bang date? April 30. With committee head Senator Sherwin Gatchalian reacting to data presented by the PSA. Kasi mga kaesyo, ang PSA po kasi identify ang functionally literate person as someone, take note po of this. Baka isa kayo sa graduate, ano ba ito? Bulo tayo. Graduate. Basta nagtapos. Yan pa. Mas madali. Nabubulunan tayo dito. Nagtapos sa senior high at sa junior high noong nakaraang taon, baka isa ka nito mga kaesyo, the PSA defined a functionally literate person as someone who can read, write, compute, and comprehend. So, dinidefine kasi nila mga kaesyo kung ano yung matatawag nilang functionally literate person. So, functionally literate person, ayon sa kanilang pagbigay kahulugan, ay isang tao na marunong magbasa, magsulat, mag-compute, magbilang, at marunong umintindi kung ano ang sinasabi. Para kasing may kilala akong nasa pamahalaan araw-araw kasi, no? Nasabi ko na pala kanina. Araw-araw humaharap sa media, tapos sa kanyang vlog, or karamihan talaga sa kanyang vlog, parang mahina po siya sa comprehension. Ayon kay Gatchalian, if you look at the 2024 figure, there are 18 million students who the PSA detected that are senior high school graduates and junior high school graduates but are not functionally literate. So, panoorin natin yung video mga kaesyo. Ito yung Committee on Basic Education na hearing noong April 30 na tinalakay o isiniwalat ng PSA mga kaesyo na umaabot ng hanggang 19 million na nagtapos sa junior graduate. Nagtapos ng junior at senior high school mga kaesyo. Ang dami nito mga kaesyo. Ito.
As we all noted, let's go back to the slide earlier, slide 4 of the PSA. And as we all noted, starting 2024, the definition for basic literacy and functional literacy has changed.
Sa mula pala sa 2024, binago na nila yung definition ng functionally literate person. Okay. So ayon dito,
it's simplified.
sa basic literate kasi, doon sa old definition mga kaesyo, bago ang nakaraang taon, 2024, ang kanilang, ang old definition is, sa basic literate lang pala, sa basic literate is can read and write. Okay. So can read and write. Ang functional literate is can read, write, and compute. Then can read, write, compute, and comprehend. Dito na baka hindi natin na napanood nito. So, or at least high school graduate in the old curriculum or at least junior high school completer in the K-12 curriculum. So, ang current o ang bagong definition ng basic literate. Basic lang pala ha mga kaisya, basic literate. So, ini-elevate pala ang definition base sa PSA. Ito talagang PSA. Ang basic literate lang, basic lang ha, marunong magbasa, magsulat, at marunong umintindi. Parang hindi katulad yan sa isang government appointed official dyan sa Malacanang. At ang functional literate is can read, write, compute. So may dagdag na with understanding, read, write, and with understanding. So iba pala itong read, write, compute, and comprehend. Read, itong sa basic literate is read, write, with understanding. So hindi lang siya marunong magbasa at magsulat, pero alam niya kung ano ang kanyang binasa at ano ang kanyang sinulat. So basic understanding lang po to. And then compute. Tapos sa functional literate is marunong magbasa, magsulat, mag-compute, at marunong umintindi. Okay? Tuloy natin.
For example, for basic literacy, it's now read, write, with understanding, and compute. So the bar is higher.
Yes.
Higher, yes. Oh.
And then for functional literacy, it's read, write, compute, and comprehend. And we remove the automatic categorization of high school graduate in the old curriculum, or at least junior high school.
Oh, so binago nila at pinagkaisa na lang nila yung categories, no? Mayroong category A, can read, write, and compute, tapos can read, write, compute, and comprehend, tapos at least high school graduate in the old curriculum. So binago na nila mga kaisyo.
Computer in the K-12 curriculum. No, so now it's simpler, meaning everyone will be tested. And if you can read, write, compute, and comprehend, you're functional literate. Correct. Okay. So having said that, I was looking at the time series of the data for FLEMS. Go flash on slide 2. The good news is from 1989 to 2019 seems like we're improving in terms of functional literacy.
Mataas.
In terms of basic literacy, it seems like it's flat, meaning it's sideways. But if you look at
so bago ang 2024, itong basic literacy, itong kulay blue sa chart nila mga ka-issue. So parang flat lang siya, no? Naka-level lang. Tapos ang functional literacy bago ang 2024 tumaas. Tumaas siya mula ito mababa 75.4. Okay, so umakyat siya sa 91.6. Tapos pagpasok nitong bagong definition ng functional literacy mga kaisyo, ito bagsak 60.2. No, mula 79.7.
At the functional literacy looks like we are improving. But after the change in definition, obviously we have the numbers have also dramatically
Yun nga sinabi ko.
changed. And in my opinion, and I'll ask everyone about this, the minimum bar our country should
Take note po ha, FLEMS, Functional Literacy, Education, and Mass Media Survey. Functional, so initial results of the 2024 Functional Literacy, Education, and Mass Media Survey. That's FLEMS.
always reach for is functional literacy. No? That should be the minimum. We should not be happy with basic literacy. No? Basic literacy is just read, write,
So ang minimum dapat daw is functional literacy.
and simple computation. The country should always achieve or target functional literacy. No? And in this case, because of the new definition, which I agree, no? Because in our rounds in EDCOM, I've seen with my own eyes 15-year-olds who cannot read. No?
Oy, nako. 15 years old who cannot read.
15-year-olds who cannot read simple.
By the way, note dito, note sa baba. For 1994, 2003, 2019, survey rounds, basic literacy estimates are for those aged 10 to 64 years. Uy, nako. 10 to 64 years old pala to. 1994. For the remaining years, basic literacy estimates are for those aged 10 years and above. Functional literacy rates for all years are for sa buong taon daw to mga kesyo, itong pula na guhit, no, sa chart. This is for 10 to 64 years old. So, pasok pa itong isang taga Malacanang.
Story have problems doing simple math, meaning there are really high school graduates who graduate from our system, but they're not functionally literate. No? And that's a reality that we should all acknowledge. And I've seen it with my own eyes.
Nako.
Now the next question is, how grave is this problem? No? And this is where FLEMS will come in. So in this case, I just want to put this on record that if you look at our functionally literate, 70% of our population is functionally literate. No? And this is a number that we should improve. I want the
70% functionally literate.
LCC to take note of this. Nakita nyo naman ito, Mr. Mendoza? Have you seen this FLEMS, new FLEMS?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair, the Council requested the PSA to present these additional results during its last Council meeting, Your Honor.
But this should be the new target, that 70% should not be 70%. The PSA presented earlier, I noticed that the PSA presented all the positives. No? The top 10 in basic literacy, the top 10.
Dapat makinig po tayo dito mga kaisyo dahil baka isa ka sa hindi pasok sa functional literate.
In functional literacy. But in order to really capture...
Kasi sa all definition tandaan po, all definition ng basic literacy is able to read and write. Able to read and write. Sa bagong definition, basic sa basic literacy dito. Atras lang natin ng kaunti. Dito, no? May read and write, tapos understanding and compute. Okay? Sa functional literacy, the old is mayroong certain curriculum, no? Nakakuha ka at least high school graduate. So ito ang kanilang definition noon bago ang 2024 na FLEMS. So itong FLEMS, by the way, no, again, functional literacy education and mass media survey. Nasa hindi pala kita dito. Ito. Nasa ito. Ayan. No? So ang functional literacy literate sa old definition is at least high school graduate. So kaya flat parang level lang dito, no? Dito sa chart na ito. Sa bagong definition is can read, write, compute, and comprehend. And walang limitation. Walang limitation. So, hindi at least high school graduate, kundi marami, no? So, 10 to 64 ba yun? Dito sa chart. 10 to 64 years old. Ituloy natin.
These additional results during its last Council meeting, Your Honor.
But this should be the new target, that 70% should not be 70%. The PSA presented earlier, I noticed that the PSA presented all the positives.
Okay.
Of resources will come in. Approximately 5.8 million people.
Estimated age 10 to 64 not basically literate and functional literate in millions. So dito mga kaisyo, not basically literate, ang dami, 5.86 million for this year. Tapos not functionally literate age 10 to 64 mga kaisyo is around 24.82 million. Dami nito. Not functionally literate, so ang dami. Tapos functionally literate 79 million sa old definition. Tapos 10 to 64 years old to sa functional literacy, functional literate. So sa old definition aabot ng 79 million, no? Kasi in thousand to 79,135, so in thousand. So that is 79 million yung functional literate. Sa bagong definition naging 60 million na lang.
Definition of functional literacy is we have 79 million who our graduates cannot comprehend and understand the simple story.
Ano to?
Of senior high school graduates in the K-12 are functionally literate, meaning there's around 21% who are not able to.
Can you repeat that?
By highest grade completed, Mr. Chair, in the entire country, 79% of senior high school graduates in the K-12 curriculum
What?
are functionally literate. So that's around 21% short.
Okay, okay. That's in 2024.
Yes, sir.
So based on your FLEMS, that's not in your presentation. Based
Yes,
on your FLEMS,
we just
you've
recently-
detected that 21% of our senior high school graduates are not
Graduates.
functionally literate.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
21%.
that's quite concerning. No?
Oh,
That means
dami
1 out
nun.
of 5 of our graduates cannot comprehend and understand the simple story.
Nako.
And that's something that we need to address. Let me also show some slides that we computed.
Anong slides bago?
So we looked at definitely BARM is the number 1 in terms of the number of basic illiteracy.
Ano to? Ang mas may marami. So dito tayo. Balikan natin yung balita ng CDN. Ay, hindi pala yan. Ito. Ang may marami mga kaesyo, ayon dito. Meanwhile, in terms of illiteracy, below is a list of top provinces with highest number of illiterate. So ang mas may pinakamarami isang Tawi-Tawi with 67%. Tapos Davao Occidental at ang ito yung pinakita, no? NCR, saan ba? Tingnan natin. BARM ang pinakamalaking mayroong illiteracy. Basic lang to, ha? Saan ba ditong ano? Uy, mayroong ano sa NCR, tapos mayroong dito sa amin sa Region 7.
That's 16% of their read, write, and compute.
So ito. Tawi-Tawi, illiteracy top 10. Basically illiteracy o illiteracy ito mga kaisyo. Hindi marunong magbasa o magsulat o mag-compute. Ang pinakamalaki is sa Cavite yan. Ako. Tapos illiteracy top 10 ano to? Illiteracy of bottom 10. Ay, okay. Top 10. Ano ba to? Hindi ba to baliktad? Illiteracy rates, a number of Filipinos in thousands, top and bottom 10 provinces. Okay. Top 10 at top bottom. Okay. Klaro. So, ang pinakamababa ay Tawi-Tawi. Mga kaesyo, ang may pinaka maraming hindi marunong magbasa at magsulat. At umintindi o mag-compute. Ay, naku talaga, Ayan mga kaesyo. Atin lang po itong tinalakay para malaman po ninyo na may gusto kong mapaabot sa inyo kasi na mayroon ding isang nasa abogado pa pero mahirap umintindi mga kaesyo ng basic question. Ang dami pang pasakali pag sumagot. Okay. Hanggang dyan lang po muna tayo dito sa ating issue 101 sa episode na ito. At least diniscuss lang po natin yung tungkol dito kasi ito ay nakababahala. Pero one thing kasi, there is a category or a definition na sinet po ng PSA. So that is why parang lumobo, biglang lumaki yung dami ng mga illiterate. Basic at functional literacy. So hanggang dyan lang po muna tayo dito sa ating palatuntunan ng
101.
pansamantala po muna ako mamaalam. Maraming salamat po sa tatlong nanonood sa atin. Hanggang sa muli, ito po ang inyong lingkod na si
Senior Simon.
pansamantala po muna ang mamaalam. Tandaan, mas lamang ang may alam. Bye-bye.
At yan ang Issue 101. Ang hilin natin sa mga kinauukulan ay umaksyon. Hanggang sa susunod, maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay.